Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Auntie Lara, and in today's lesson we'll be considering the theme of love in Wuthering Heights. So let's dive into it very quickly. The love that existed between Heathcliff and Catherine can be said to be indestructible love. This love, I don't know if I'm to say this love was made from heaven, because right from the time that they were young, they had been fond of each other, and even after Heathcliff ran away from the house and Catherine got married to Edgar, they still loved each other so much that after Heathcliff returned, he couldn't stay away from Catherine and begged Nelly to try and make him see, on several occasions, to make him see Catherine. Now, Catherine was willing to get married to Edgar so as to improve Heathcliff's status. She never stopped loving him and even invited him to her home, knowing her husband's disposition towards Heathcliff. Even in death, her spirit wasn't at rest. After she died, Heathcliff was saying that nothing should happen to her body. As a matter of fact, Heathcliff wanted to go and lie beside her in the grave. That's the kind of love that they share. Indestructible. Not even death could destroy their love. So much that Catherine's spirit kept hovering around Wuthering Heights, wanting to enter the room. Heathcliff, on the other hand, couldn't keep away from Catherine, even with the fact that she was already married. When he heard about Catherine's illness, he began to treat Edgar's sister Isabella unfairly, just to get back at Edgar for not treating Catherine right. So because the news came to him that Catherine had fallen sick because of Edgar, he decided to change it for Isabella, so much that Isabella had no choice but to run away from him. When Lockwood cried out from his sleep that he'd seen Catherine's ghost, he entered the room and begged her spirit to haunt him, and was invariably jealous of Lockwood that he was the one to see Catherine. Now, the love that existed between Linton and Cathy can be said to be forceful love. Heathcliff needed to have Churchcross Grange for himself, and the only way he could achieve that was to forcefully get Katie to marry Linton, and he achieved this by locking her up in Wuthering Heights and refusing her to see her sick father, Edgar, up until Linton helped her escape to see her dying father. Now, we are considering the theme of love, yeah? So the kind of love that exists between Linton and Kitty was forceful love, because they never loved each other. As a matter of fact, they were forced to marry each other, all for Heathcliff's selfish gain. He was not okay with just taking Wuthering Heights. He wanted Churchcross Grange for himself, and the only way he could do that was for his son to get married to Katie, so that they will become the heir. And because he knows that the son is a sickler, someone that will soon die, he knew that immediately the son dies, everything will come to him and he would be the owner of Churchcross Grange. So he forced, knowing fully well that Edgar, Katie's father, was very sick, he locked Katie and Nelly in Wuthering Heights and refused Katie going to see her father until they got married. Even after she was forcefully married to Linton, he still didn't allow her to leave until Linton helped her. Although she eventually didn't pass through the door, she passed through the window to see her father. Thank God that she escaped just at that time to see her father, because her father died shortly after seeing her. Linton was hard and mean to Katie on the instructions of Heathcliff, and Katie had locked herself upstairs and refused to come down for days. Now, the love that existed between Edgar and Catherine can be said to be true love. Edgar to Catherine is said to be true love, as he would go to any length to satisfy her, even to him agreeing to have Heathcliff in his home for dinner even though they were enemies. Like you having someone like Heathcliff in your house because your wife wanted. He also stayed away from Catherine on her demand that she wanted to be alone, not knowing she was already very sick as she had refused to eat for 2 days. The love that existed from Catherine to Edgar. We first considered Edgar to Catherine. That's true love. Now the one that exists from Catherine to Edgar can be said to be selfish love, because if you recall a conversation with Nelly Dean, she said that she wanted to get married to Edgar to improve her status and also to help Heathcliff. So it wasn't that she loved Edgar. In fact, while she was telling Nelly Dean, she said that I am Heathcliff and Heathcliff is me. And she went on to talk about, like, if everything else dies and he remains. He went on to profess her love for Heathcliff, yet she went ahead to marry Edgar. The love that existed from Isabella to Heathcliff can be said to be infatuation. It's just so sad that she was a useful tool in the hand of Heathcliff. She failed to see beyond his physique and insisted that Catherine was jealous that Heathcliff was interested in her, even after Catherine warned her that Heathcliff is not capable of loving her. Catherine already knew that Heathcliff cannot love another person. It's not possible. But of course, Isabella was already blinded by infatuation, and so all sense of reasoning were out of the window, so much that she had to elope with Heathcliff to go and get married against her brother's wish, and this led to Edgar disowning her as his sister. And the love that existed from Heathcliff to Isabella can be said to be revengeful. Like, I'm marrying you to get back at Edgar. Like, why would Edgar take Catherine of all people? So because of my social status, because I don't have money, he decided to take Catherine away from me. Then I'm getting married to you too, to spite Edgar. And so the love that existed was basically nothing. There was no emotion. So Isabella as a payback to Edgar for marrying Catherine. Now let's go to the kind of love that existed between Hindley and Frances, and this can be said to be true love. They were enough for each other. They were always in each other's company, laughing and playing. They never wanted a third party around them. Hindley instantly took to drinking as soon as Frances died. He couldn't come to that realization that he has lost the love of his life, and he took to drinking and gambling. If given the opportunity, he would trade Harrington, his son, to have his wife back. That is how much he loved Frances. He therefore couldn't bear to see the cause of his wife's death, that is Harrington, anywhere around him. And if not for Nelly Dean, that was always shielding, Harrington would have died long ago. If Hindley is coming back to Wuthering Heights, Harrington must take cover, must go and hide, because if not, he's going to receive maximum beating from his father. And so one day, in his drunken state, he came home and Harrington had no time to go hide himself as usual. He picks him and shakes him violently over the balcony while accusing him of being the cause of his wife's death. And whilst he was still shouting, Harrington slipped from his hand but was saved by Heathcliff, who caught him just at the nick of time. It wasn't on purpose. Even though he wanted to always at every opportunity he sees, he always wanted Harrington to know that he was the one that killed his wife. And that was the case on this particular day. But because he was already drunk to stupor, he didn't hold his wrist very well, and Harrington slipped. And thank God, Heathcliff was able to save him. And the love that existed between Katie and Harrington is considered as true love. Katie accepted Harrington for who he is, and Harrington started to get himself refined, to stop the swearing words and all, and to learn how to read. Katie gives him book to read, helps him in pronunciation, and he eventually planned that they would get married on New Year Day. So all of these are the types of love that we can see in Wuthering Heights. If you find this video helpful, kindly share, like, comment, and if you are here to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and see you in our next lesson. Bye.